Hi there. Now we're going to do lesson number 10. My thoughts do not mean anything. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. All the thoughts, pay attention to these words, all the thoughts. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. Let me read the lesson. My thoughts do not mean anything. We have made this distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. This is the second time that we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time, the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts, and no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. Let me read that again. And this is sentence number 4 in paragraph 2. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of what you think you think. Paragraph 3. This aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than the present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these thoughts means that you are not thinking. This is merely another way of repeating our earlier statement that your mind is really a blank. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. Paragraph 4. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. Then add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Paragraph 4. The exercise consists as before in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you, without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, my thought about Peter does not mean anything. My thought about Susie does not mean anything. My thought about going dancing tonight does not mean anything. My thought about the stock market does not mean anything. My thought about the state of the economy does not mean anything. My thought about the president of this country does not mean anything. Paragraph 5. Today's thought can obviously serve for any thought that distresses you at any time. In addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically, and also to add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. So this is what it would look like. So my thought about the economy does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. My thought about my retirement does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Because what is happening is when I add the this does not mean anything, that specific idea, thought, situation does not mean anything, it's that does not mean anything is the idea that's going to help to release me from all that I now believe, because I've been believing that the stock market means something. I've been believing that retirement means something. So that is exactly what we're beginning to say is a reversal. We're training our mind to look at things very differently. And this is why Jesus says, you cannot possibly understand this, because we have been given meaning to things. So to begin to say that it doesn't mean anything, there is no possible way you can understand that. So just do the practices, and he's very specific, don't overdo it. 5 times 1 minute max. Cut it down to half a minute if you begin to get uncomfortable about what you're doing. So again, this thought about my career does not mean anything. This idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Take it easy on yourselves and remember that we truly are magnificent, and that's what we're beginning to discover, that there is a magnificence underneath all of these meaningless thoughts that have been covering up who we truly are. Have a great day.